Welcome everybody to another episode of Hub's Huddle. Today is Sunday, October 7th, 2018. Today I just want to talk about, the aftermath of last night's main event, UFC 229, Khabib versus McGregor. Khabib won in the fourth round. We applied the rear naked choke to McGregor. He tapped. But after the fight, all heck broke loose, man. But first, let me talk about the fight a little bit, just to open this thing up. They started out, the atmosphere was electric. Conor gets in the octagon with the fog and green lighting. He came in there with a strut. And Khabib came in. These guys. They had the security in the octagon. And basically separate these dudes. There was no, before fight, handshake, no nothing. It was just, let's go get it on. So, the fight started. And one thing, Conor McGregor, he had some good takedown offense last night. It was pretty well. It worked out for him, until he got a little bit tired. Second round came and it became the Khabib show. It was, he basically mauled Conor in the second round. Then the third round, this was probably the only round, that I gave to Conor, even though it only went 4. But this was a round where, these guys was trading shots and McGregor was starting to warm up. He was catching him, a couple counter punches and everything. But before this, at the end of the second round, McGregor got up, and basically they just started, he started talking trash to Khabib. So that led to the third round. Like I said, I gave the third round to Conor, but then in the fourth, Khabib's, wrestling and everything, it just took over in that one. He was able to get Conor's back, apply the rear naked choke. Conor taps, and then Khabib said something to Conor. It seemed like he said something to Conor, and then he looked towards Conor's corner, through his mouthpiece, and then next thing you know, Khabib goes flying over the cage. Like he just climbs over the cage into the crowd. Started a fight with one of the guys in McGregor's corner. And then next thing you know, two of Khabib's guys climb into the cage. And they started fighting McGregor. It was like, wow. It looked bad for the UFC. I don't blame Khabib for this. I think he could have handled it differently, but I understand why he did it. Dana White said afterwards, he said the Nevada State Athletic Commission is holding both checks. They're turning in the film from last night. It could be suspension for Khabib. Him and his guys, they may need visas to return back into the country now. Big fines, for both fighters. This is why, the athletic, commission is holding the checks. He said that Conor's, one of Conor's guys started it. Basically, he said something to Khabib, and Khabib just basically like snapped. So, 3 of Khabib's guys were arrested last night as well. And then, I was watching ESPN, and I heard Khabib's comments, in his press conference. And he's basically saying, which I agree with. He's saying, why people keep talking about him jumping over a cage when nobody said nothing about Conor when he disrespected his religion, his country, and also his father. You never talk about a man's religion. I understand you guys are promoting this fight, but it's certain things that, you shouldn't say. It went way beyond personal. It was personal from the jump, way before this fight was even made. It was back when Khabib slapped, Conor's friend for whatever reason he did that. Then Conor flies to New York, basically picks up a dolly, throws it at the UFC bus window, injuring several competitors. Dana White really didn't do nothing with Conor, condemned him for a little bit. But then he basically used all of this to promote the fight, saying it's a part of the story. So now in the aftermath, you're upset. But you said this stuff before, all the actions before, Conor injuring, several competitors, and you're saying this is all a part of the story. Like, come on now. So basically, Khabib jumps after Connor's, guy in the corner, similar to, when Connor jumping after Aldo, and it's like, it's a double standard. Dana White's upset, what Khabib did, but you didn't really do nothing to Connor when he did what he did, like, and I understand that, McGregor is the cash cow of the UFC. You make a big fight, he can sell a fight, he can talk, he's gonna put butts in the seats, man, but it shouldn't be a double standard. Like I said, what Khabib did, Habib did, sorry. What this man did, I don't agree with it. I think he could have handled it differently, but I understand why he did it. Habib, emotions was high last night. And, he came out there with one thing in mind, to shut McGregor up, and that's exactly what he did. And shout outs to him, man. Like I said, that was a great fight last night. Terrible ending, but a great fight. Like I said, I don't blame that man for one thing. Now they talking about he might get stripped of his title. The kid is 27-0. He's a complete animal in the cage. And he basically, he handed it to Conor last night. Dana White said that he talked to Conor. Conor said, he doesn't care about the other stuff. He said he's just mad because he lost, pretty much. But like I said, man, UFC, man, Dana White, Conor's his guys. He's gonna do whatever he can to protect him, protect, the UFC. Make sure the UFC keep having that money coming in. But it shouldn't be a double standard, man. Like I said, man, Khabib, he could have handled it a little bit differently. I understand why he reacted the way he reacted, and I don't blame him. Point simple. You talk about somebody's religion, talk about somebody's family, talk about somebody's country, especially when they take pride in all of that. You take pride in your family. His father taught him. He takes pride in his religion. He takes pride in his country. That's all the same if somebody was talking about Conor's country. And disrespecting him, somebody was talking about his kids. His child. Or his wife. He would feel some type of way too. So you can't just come out here and just be, openly just disrespectful in that way. I understand they trying to sell a fight, but, certain things, man, you got to take it off the table. And I think, UFC just got to, clean up a lot. It shouldn't be no favoritism. It shouldn't be no double standards. The hypocrisy and, the UFC. You know what I'm saying? So, it's a lot that got to be cleaned up on Dana White's part in this whole corporation here. This whole thing, man. So, good fight by Khabib last night. Conor McGregor got what he got coming. And I like Conor. I like the trash talk. I find this dude hilarious because he gets in the ring. The octagon, and he handles himself. But last night, he got it handed to him. He ate his word. He ate his words basically. But yeah, that's it for me, guys. Man, I just want to talk about that a little bit. Let's just wait and see what the Nevada State Athletic Commission is going to do to Khabib. Let's see what the UFC is going to do. Where they're going to strip him of his title. What kind of fines he's going to face. What kind of fine that McGregor's going to face. I doubt it's going to be anything huge. Because I don't. He didn't do anything, but his cornerman did it. His cornerman started it. Would they fine him for his cornerman, or would they just fine the cornerman? What? Is it going to be new rules going on? What's next? We got to wait and see. But for all these analysts, man, it's coming down on Khabib, man, you guys need to just chill out, man. If you was put in that situation, you would react the same way as him. Like I said, I understand why he did it. I just feel like he could have handled himself differently. But, he's a young guy, fiery, emotional, so it's going to go down like that. It is what it is at the end of the day. McGregor, he talks a lot, and not everybody's for all of that. Like I said, one day you're going to run into somebody who ain't going to be all about that, letting you say whatever you want to say, and they're going to come after you. And that's what he did last night. I think his whole intentions of him trading shots with McGregor in the third round was just to prove a point, because clearly, man, he could have used his wrestling all night and really, ended McGregor earlier than the fourth round. This fight could have went 2 rounds, and I believe the over, they wasn't expecting this to go over 2.5 rounds, really. I made a little bet last night, and I had took, over 2.5 rounds. So I was like, I won that part. I just got a little bit more on my parlay. Gotta come up today. But yeah. So, just looking at it, Khabib, man, I understand why he did it, and do I agree with it? No, but I know why. I'm not gonna sit here and bash him and call him a bad guy, like how some of these guys call, like a Michael Bisping called him an idiot. Like, I wouldn't even call that man an idiot. Like, this man is, that's all pride, man. His pride got the best of him last night, and basically, this is the kind of stuff that's going to happen afterwards. You can't have a guy that's consistently trash talking, then he disrespectful to you, your religion, your country, and then your family. You're gonna run into the wrong person one day, man, and they're just going to basically like not gonna be for it. And he wasn't for it last night. He came out there with a purpose, man. He came out there with a purpose to just smash Conor McGregor, and that's what he did. It was a great fight. It was worth the money. The promo, like I said, it all started with all of that stuff. Between these guys, they should have cut all that stuff out and allow these guys just to get in there and fight. Nobody shouldn't have really said nothing, but the UFC, like Dana White said, this was all part of the story. But now when stuff goes wrong, now you're sitting up there being mad. So, oh well, man, shame on him. But that's it for me today, guys. Just want to talk about this. Look out for my week 5 NFL picks that'll be dropping this morning as well. Until next time, man, you guys keep it, rocking, man. And until next time, Hubs Huddle, we out. Peace.